Now, the Desert Prince saying that you can survive anything rather hints that there's an anything to survive. Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, this is a general reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, whatever area of your chart you're wanting to have a look at. And remember that, as I've said on most of my videos this month, always watch your sun sign, but also your rising sign. And if anything, if you only got time to watch one of them, watch your rising sign. It's a general reading, so general reading rules apply. If someone else turns up in the reading, I might get you confused with them because the cards don't have name tags. And timing is most definitely not absolute in tarot, not by a long chalk. You can get sequence, but you can't necessarily get time scale. Now, with this reading, you can ask a question beforehand. So take a moment, pause the video if you have to, and think about all of the questions that are around you at the moment and focus on one of them. Excuse me. Now, be aware of all of them because the cards will answer what they want. But focusing on one of the questions gives energy to the reading, which hopefully I will return to you. If not, the universe will find a way to return it to you one way or another. So it's all good. So housekeeping, there is a link down below for, there's a link down below, actually, a link tree link that will take you to a little page that will take you to all of my different social medias. So I think my Instagram is on there, and Tumblr and Twitter and everything, or the Facebook page. I share these videos, but I also share a lot of the astrology videos that I watch, like the forecast videos. So I try to make it a bit of a one-stop shop since YouTube notifications have gone a bit weird recently. I miss the email notifications, but I doubt YouTube is listening. Yeah, I think that's everything. Oh yeah, and on the Facebook, obviously there is an inbox on there, so if you're wanting a personal reading from me, you can get in touch through there, or direct message me on Twitter or through Tumblr. Facebook's the best bet though. Right, that's all my waffle. That's not bad. 2 minutes 19 to 20. That's not bad for waffle for me. I'm sure I'll have forgotten some. Yeah, that was it. This reading either is for you or it isn't. It's got a past and a present. So, well, a past and a present, and you can't even see where I'm putting my hands, can you? But anyway, there's a past and a present, and if they don't fit, don't try and make it fit. It's obviously not for you. Go and watch your rising or your moon. You will soon figure out if this is for you or not. But even so, if it's a general reading, it is there to confirm what your intuition has already told you anyway. You know, this is not a personal face-to-face reading. So hopefully my words, if the reading is for you, will simply give you an extra viewpoint on what you're already aware of. Okay, so to quote Philly D, let's get into it. So I'm going to start as ever with the Oracle cards, Libra, because there's quite a confused message that I'm getting from them, which makes me think that there's a lot of stuff going on. We'll start here with the Wise Woman of Wonderland, who gives a risk that you could have compromised yourself, but basically through fear, where you've gone, yeah, I'll do something, or no, I won't do something, and somewhere along the line you've compromised yourself. But there is a call in a lot of these cards to be true to yourself. And that is something that I believe that you've been working on with the Hermit on the bottom of the deck here. And also on that level of compromising yourself, beware of offers. There may be a hard time coming up. This is what the Desert Prince says: you can survive anything. Now, the Desert Prince saying that you can survive anything rather hints that there's an anything to survive. So, there is certainly a whatever happens, you'll be fine vibe. But it's obviously the whatever happens bit that is the concerning aspect of that. And then we have from Wisdom of the House of Night, listening, brackets, Chrometia. Now, Chrometia, I've read this from the Oracle book because I've not read the stories, but apparently she was a storyteller, story weaver, and quite skilled at it and not at all obvious about it. Now, that's as much as I know, so that doesn't tell me whether she was good at spinning lies or not. That may well be where the character was coming from. I don't know. I didn't read it. But what this card is saying is that it's not just important what people do say, it's important what people don't say. Because here we also have the angel Cushiel, the angel of punishment. There's cheerful for you. And basically, Cushiel seeks out and punishes oath breakers. So there's an element of keep your word. Virgo had this as well. I think it was Virgo. But there's also an element of be careful what you give your word to. When there's the Wise Woman of Wonderland here, where her warning is that you could quite possibly have compromised yourself. Now, the other thing about the Wise Woman of Wonderland is quite a positive. Let me grab, because it's still a new deck to me. Where have I put it? So, is that the right one? Yeah. As long as, yes, the first words that I see are, as long as you're in the flow of honesty and being true to your word. So again, there's that link with Cushiel here. She keeps you under her protection and care. Now, however, as you know, I'm a comic book fan. So for me, there's also, you may be under her protection and care, but it does indicate that there's a lot of madness around. There's a lot of madness that you're having to stay still and deal with. Which brings me on to the Prince. Let me just move the camera a little bit so you can see where the Oracle cards are. Which brings me on to the Prince, who... The Prince is called the Forgotten Adversary. He's someone who rebelled in hell, or one of the hells. Lost his memory, but is still a scary dude, and is now on the borderlands of his realm, of the realm he lives in, acting as a guardian against the people who were previously his allies. Things coming in from outside, things... He also indicates that there can be effects from basically from wallowing in victimhood, I think is a good way to put it, because there can be positive and negative effects of that. You know, it's transactional. Where's the book for this one? Again, my other new deck. There's not that I buy lots of cards. Right, so the shattered remains of a once great devil who fought against the rulers of Akala and lost badly. An empty but still fearsome shell, his very presence as he wanders the borders of the realm serves to chase away the constant encroachers from the outer darkness who were once his allies. Although he himself has no memory, excuse me. The Prince reminds us that to dwell in disgrace, sorrow and loss has an impact on the world around us. Sometimes unlooked for benefits and sometimes ironic self-sabotage. So I'm getting that vibe about keeping your word. And is it possible that you are not believing in yourself due to some loss or another enough to keep a promise that you've made in the past? Because if that is true, it's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. You are more than capable of keeping that promise. And this here is one thing that St. Anthony here is saying. And also I would take that from the Moonology deck. Don't let pride get in your way. So it's almost like you've committed yourself to a certain path and your pride is wanting to keep you there. But I feel that keeping yourself there may end up breaking your word in the process. And it's not being honest about what you want, what you feel, what you need. Because we have here the Angel of Serenity. I feel serene and tranquil when I accept who I am. And with that influence of the Prince here and the Desert Prince here, yeah, I didn't even notice that the whole Prince thing, there's an element of needing to be honest with yourself. And with the Wise Woman of Wonderland saying there is a blessing in this. Whatever the this is, there's a blessing in it. I mean, that's basic modern day spirituality 101 anyway, isn't it? But, you know, sometimes it's harder to remember that. Now, St. Anthony, not quite so new, but not one that I know off by heart yet. Now, St. Anthony, the first thing my eyes fall on is emotionally St. Anthony pulls us up from deep slumber and encourages the spirit to move with purpose and passion. He reminds us that all that seems lost can be replaced by something greater than imagined or found again in divine time. Don't you hate that phrase? Ooh, divine timing. But nevertheless, that statement holds true. So I do feel that you have an A stream at the moment that you want to commit to, but you're aware of what a huge amount of work that commitment will be. And it's almost like, so it's almost like there is somebody who is standing in your way and trying to limit you and prevent you from going ahead with this. Because they recognise what it is that you're trying to do. And look, the Devil card twice here. So, they're certainly trying to limit you, and which brings me to that thing of the Desert Prince with the beware of false promises. They've recognised what you're capable of, and they're giving you that recognition, but somehow it appears like they are limiting you. Right, let's dive into the... And that, I think, is the pain symbolised on the bottom of the second deck, the Spellcaster deck, with the Three of Swords here. But I always like to clarify the Devil card. Let's give me a card for Libra. Okay. Three of Swords. So it's pain that's getting in the way. Pain that you do have the strength to overcome. And there is guidance. Even though they're blocking you, there's something in their words that makes you go, that's the way forward. So it's something that they say, or the reaction to something that they say, where you are left with that moment of, I didn't think of that. And I'm not so sure, looking if they're coming from that double devil position, that they will like the fact that they've actually said it and inspired this in you. But nevertheless, I think they are going to give you a tool to move forward with your dreams, even though at the very same time they are trying to stand in the way. So, you know, good and bad, like the Desert Prince, good and bad. But you seem to be in the process of assigning value to things at the moment. There's something that you are wanting to nurture. There is some new beginning that you are having or wanting to bring about. And this is after a period of quite intense debate, where you finally come together with somebody on something and decided on the way that you're going to move forward. But I do feel, whereas this is the King of Wands, it's Tarot Z was my third deck that I was inspired to use. So it's Gilded Tarot, Spellcaster's Tarot, Tarot Z. So wands are up and at him, but this is a zombie king of wands. He almost looks like one of the founding fathers by the look of his neckerchief. He's not... The thing with the king of wands is he can act, but he acts as and when required. And the time, even though you've been prepared to act, the time to act hadn't looked recently like it had arrived. And I don't think it still looked like it's time to act yet, because you are being left to stand upon your own, finding balance with the needs of those that are around you. But this is taking you slowly to a better place. So again, whatever's going on at the minute, you can survive it. The anything that is going on, you can survive without a shadow of a doubt. It's almost like you've got to wait for the world to unfold this. Because, right, still recent past, but a little bit further back. There was a time, right, okay. There was a time when, this sounds like a fairy tale. There was a time when you were really happy. You know, a better than wish fulfillment, happiness, contentment, love, family and excitement going on, work going on as well with the bees that I see here, but play at the same time, good friends, weaving something into existence which you then needed to move forward with, and you did move forward with it. However, I think you lost faith in that particular dream, and that's maybe why you're not going ahead with the dream at the moment. Now, it may well be the same dream that you had a go at and then gave up because of circumstance, because of disillusionment, because of something that somebody did, whatever. And now it's almost like you sat there going, I still want to do it, I still want to do it, I still want to do it. But you got to a point where, okay, I can't do it right now. Everything's suspended. It doesn't make sense anymore. I'm limited. I'm locked in. Okay, I'm okay with that. We will shelve it. So whether that's shelving it and walking well away, or just shelving it for the time being. And I personally think it was for the time being, but you might not have felt like it was for the time being at the time. It was like, all right, that's it, I've had enough. And Devil card again. I'm just going to take the top one off of here. So we have Queen of Wands. Yeah, so there's been some powerful and dominating influence around you that's been swaying the way that you think. And even has that influence, right? Because again, now I've got this double edge. So it's a powerful and dominating influence that's been swaying the way that you think, but also opened the world up to you after you made the choice to go along with that. So although I'm saying it's a powerful and dominating influence, they are not dominating you per se, because you are allowing that to happen. So you are the one that has allowed this process, because that's what they're like. Let them get on with it, you know, and they want me to do this. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind. You know, so whereas I'm saying a powerful and dominating influence and a limiting influence, I don't feel anything bad about it, despite everything that I've just said. You know, there's it's just, that's their personality, that's the force of nature that they are, because as an adversary they are hollow, as this prince is empty. So there's no this is what I'm saying, there's no malice, there's no ill will, there is just, that's the way that they are. But there was some debate that maybe you've got them to shift a little. And as I say, you're assigning value to things at the moment. Now, an extra card jumped out in the distant past. Now, what these are is a distant but relevant past. So normally it's a lesson that you've learnt for good or for ill in the past. So it could be a lesson that you learnt for good that you are being reminded to use at the moment, or a lesson that you learnt for bad that you are being advised to pack it in. You know, we'll find out whichever one it is. So you were surging forward beforehand on something that took strength to do, but I also feel there was a wonderful sense of adventure. There was a wonderful sense of, you know, like springing into a secret kingdom, you know, like going through the wardrobe into Narnia. Although I am thinking sunny rather than snowy like Narnia was through the wardrobe, because again, strength, that Leo influence. So it could be a summertime thing that's going on, because that sun is really strong, and I'm feeling the sun is really strong, and I can't see any presence of it in the card neither, but it is there in the Knight of Wands card. And then we have the something that rose up. But I do believe that this is something that you were alone in, and things moved fast up until the point where you felt that you were having to defend, that you felt that you was under attack doing. And we've got the Nine of Wands. So there's the element of the wounded warrior, but I love this Nine of Wands out the spellcasters. It seems to be, sometimes I think that person that's being locked away is the person I'm reading for, or it's somebody else. It could be an enemy. And bear in mind, the Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior card. So it's almost like, yeah, I'm trapped. I can't do any more. But you did manage to do really well. And this is what then led on to this change of direction, where there was you got yourself from there to a happier place. And then you're just like, all right, now we do this. And then you got a bit disillusioned by it. But the lesson is in that. I think the lesson in that is capability. The fact that you can make these changes. Because when all said and done, that's 1, 2, 3 changes of life that I'm seeing that you have performed yourself. You know, so new place or new people or new job or new way of being, new reinvention of yourself. And right now seems to be a time of pulling all those things together, because I'm really drawn to this Eight of Swords here. Now, as you know, the Eight of Swords is normally anxiety, but there's this woman, noble woman, hands bound, blindfold, stood in the middle of 8 levitating swords. I'm not going to argue with her. She has 8 levitating swords around her. You know, there's there's a sense of her being bound is a sacrifice that she's making to achieve something. Her being blindfold is to concentrate her senses on a specific thing. Quite possibly the telekinetic difficulty of levitating the 8 swords around her. That seems to be a card of power to me, rather than fear and anxiety. And that's what's coming up. But while you're assigning value to things, there's a fear. That's interesting. You're going to have to find new ways of doing things. Simply keeping the goal of doing things right, doing things in the style of, yeah, I'm morally okay with this. emotionally okay with this. I'm spiritually okay with this. This is how we're going to do it. It's not necessarily going to be the tried, true, trusted methods of like 2,000 years of church, but it is sticking to that higher spiritual intent, because a lot of information that is around you at the moment is causing you distress. But I do want to say is not all of it is true. And I'm really, on this Tarot Z moon card, there is a woman fiddling, or playing the violin, but let's say fiddling, because I'm immediately reminded of Nero fiddling while Rome burnt. And so I don't think you can trust all the information that's coming in around you over the next period, which has probably already hit, which makes your process of trying to assign value to different things difficult. But as I say, you can have false promises, and you are surrounded by madness at the moment. But as I've also said, this one person whose strong presence is restricting you and limiting you somewhat, they are not your enemy. They are just them. I don't know why, but I mean, especially since it's the Devil card, I think it's this Three of Pentacles. There is a lot of goodwill toward you. So if they are limiting you, it's not that they're limiting you, well, it's not that they're limiting you out of malice or out of like jealousy or something like that. It's just maybe they think they're doing the right thing. And more power to them. I think they're wrong, but I also think that you get them on side and get them to understand how you're feeling and what you're wanting to do. You've got a firm ally. You have got the force of 2 Devil cards on your side. You know, so the first step in being able to explain who you are in this situation is for you to accept who you are. Beware of the promises that you make. If at all possible, don't make any promises. Even though you're thinking of making a big commitment at the minute. And bear in mind that this could be a love thing. Ace of Cups, 4 of Swords, 4 of Wands, sorry. So, marriage and love. But with the 8 of Discs, yeah, it's going to be hard work. And a relationship can be hard work, but love doesn't need to be. So... like I say, you're well aware of this because you're in the process of assigning value. Now, as for what area of life this could be, it is a very day-to-day area of life. That's all I can say. So whether it's a family life, a relationship, a job, an ongoing friendship, social circle, relationship to an organization, I don't know. And I'm not going to try and specify that because it's a general reading and it will be whatever it is for you if this reading is for you. And by now you will know if this reading was for you or not. So coming into the future. So whereas you've got this wonderful dream here, presenting it to the world is not as easy as you'd like. But there will be good advice around you. There will be guidance around you. And with this, the ace being reduced to a page, and with the base card being the 5 of Wands with an oncoming zombie horde, I would say, yeah, show this dream bit by bit by bit, and not necessarily, no big reveal, no big ta-da! Because doing it that way, drip feeding it, gets you into the right foundation, 10 of Pentacles, with the right support around you. And is that a beaver? No, it's a mouse. Funny mouse. So there's a mouse. And that should be a tortoise, but it looks like a turtle to me. The whole 10 of Pentacles, as you know, is a stable home life, is having enough money, having the foundations, having a secure home. But there's also, with this card, there's the element of the treasure chest opening, which I really quite like. And you have options on how you're going to use it for a brand new start. Fool card. Zombie fool card, but fool card nonetheless. So a whole new beginning. And the whole new bit, as if things have come full circle. So referring back to that dream at the start. And like I say, you're and fool card again. So yes, that new beginning is coming up. You have to go through this decision process of assigning value. But right now, no hard, fast decisions, because not all the information that you have is accurate. And even if it is, you're hearing it badly. You're hearing it through a point of loss and pain and misery and depression and what have you. I'm not saying that you are miserable and depressed, but that's how that news is coming through. So you're not naturally feeling in the most empowered position, especially not when you're getting steamrolled by this person here, whoever they are. But you are coming through to a real place of power. So there's that new beginning soon, and then you surge ahead, Knight of Swords, with that tremendous display of power with this 8 of Swords. And notice we've got an 8-8. The final outcome card is the 8 of Wands. So let's have a look at your fears here. Your fear is that you will let your anxiety beat you, or that you cannot levitate those swords, that you've got too many options. True, you have got plenty of options coming up, but what I like about this particular 7 of Cups is that it reminds you that the planets are on your side. They'll move at their own pace, but the planets are on your side. So astrological reference there. You've simply got to make the right decision. Will you make the right decision? And that's your fear. Am I going to make the right decision? Well, the steps for that is have a look at what promises that you have made, and don't put any sway, I think, or any weight behind promises that are delivered to you, because they may well be fulfilled. Bonus if that's true. But if they're not fulfilled and you've not banked on them, again, bonus because you didn't bank on them. So these here are a potential future. So healing's on its way with surging ahead, but there will be some form of final choice where you are presented into the company of your peers. But that will be a point where, right, so Queen of Wands here. Two things with that. That Queen of Wands, as we saw over here with Paimon, could be the influence of this person who's the quite dominating, strong personality. The person who is limiting you, but not through any malice. So by them appearing here, I'm seeing that they are coming in line with you. And or, I'm going to say and or, because like I said, I don't think that this person is necessarily someone you want to get rid of. Can't really tell you why I think that, but I just there's no malice there, so why get rid of them? Why would you? But there's also you taking on that role of the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands is someone who gets stuff done. You know, there's so by using the guidance that you receive, the advice that you're given, quite possibly once that person is on side, their advice gets you to a point where you are confronted or at a level with your peers, whoever they will be. And you'll be surprised at how talented and confident and strong that your peers are, which may initially make you go a bit, oh, but they are your peers, which means you are equally as talented and as strong and as the phrase I want to use, I don't want to use on a YouTube video. So, but it ends in hot. All right. So I think you know what I'm trying to say there. So the final outcome, things will suddenly start moving really fast. You will be victorious with your meeting of the peers. 7 of Wands here, but this guy standing on this pile of 6 wands, the 6 of Wands being victory, with a real smile and confident swagger. He's not being defensive. He is, look at what I've done. Look at what I have accomplished. And I've got to tell you this, and he's got a Halloweening eagle. I saw this post on Facebook. Just one of those little sort of fancy writing on a coloured background. My friend's 5-year-old has given a new name for crows, Halloween eagles. So that's it, they're Halloween eagles for me now. But yeah, so there's a Halloween eagle, or a raven, sat with him, showing that there's that wisdom that where he's standing victorious, it's because he has the wisdom to know what he has achieved. This, don't let pride get in your way. There's none of that sort of pride here. But things will move incredibly, incredibly fast for you, and you will be protected with this. You will be... I just feel really good about it. Now this... My mind is drawing a blank. What is card number 10? I can't even remember now for the moment of me. But it doesn't matter, because what I'm drawn to is that great clock behind them. No, my mind's gone. I can't remember what card number 10 is. I'll look it up as soon as I finish the video. But that is... I'm not saying that you're the saviour, but it's quite possible that you are bringing this more dominating personality through to your way of thinking in time, because really you want them on your side, you want them on your team, you want them to be working with you. There is something that you are moving beyond, something. This is the end of the movie where, being totally sexist and ageist here, the hero man gets the little girl to safety. Although I also do feel, linking with this Queen of Wands here and what I've seen around here, yeah, the little girls helps get them to safety as well by knowing things. So I hope that means something to you. If it does, comment down below. There's a lot there to unpick. So this is my moon sign, so I think I'm going to have to, when I edit this, is sit and watch the whole thing as I edit it, rather than just a quick click, click, click and bung it up on YouTube. There's a lot to unpack there. I just want to leave you with this. I feel serene and tranquil when I accept who I am. And if you are not accepting who you are, that's how you get the rage of Cushiel on your back, because you are not being true to yourself. Now, oh, okay, Here we're going to get woo-woo. In the beginning there was the Word. Kushiel punishes those who do not keep their word. And if you are a little bit of God, when you started in being, in the beginning, you were a word as well. And that's a word that you have to keep. Oh, I could call the video that, a word you have to keep. Anyway, like I say, comment down below. The next readings that will be out after I finish the Western Zodiac will be the Chinese Zodiac, quite possibly drifting into next week for those. But yeah, comment down below, like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube, Google Politics stuff, and see you next reading. Cheers.